So the on-balance volume indicator, some people refer to as the smart money indicator. I believe it shows a reflection of smart money via limit ordering. So if the price goes up, but market buys, I think this is how it works. Market buys don't show up, but limit buys do. So the higher the OBV is climbing, the more, the higher the OBV is climbing, the more limit buys are filling and smart money limit buys. So the OBV is calculated through some way that you could Google yourself. But basically what it comes down to is a decent indication of if money is entering or leaving the asset. It works on stocks too. It works on futures. It works really well on Forex, especially exchanges that only have, especially on coins that only have one exchange. So here's an example of XLM. We have smart money averaging in all the way till here. And then right here, smart money decided to leave. So they started limit selling here, limit selling, limit selling, limit selling. And so one of the ways I trade with the OBV is I find where the OBV diverges, which would be right here. And then I notice the price it's at right there. So that's where limit buying gave up. And go figure, you can see what happened later at that range. It also rejected. And so where smart money once gave up, they were willing to short, or willing to close even more in that range again. And if you go back further, you can see where smart money first came in, down here before the pump, roughly from here to there. And that's where the OBV started to climb. And let's go ahead and mark it a little bit better. Turn off the volume, get rid of the visual range so it doesn't skew it as much. Looks like it was going sideways, 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 and then right here caught a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then ran. So from here to it looks like some pumping started to happen there, but you can go ahead and increase it to at least where the hedge ended and started pumping, which is about right there. So they were limit buying confidently through this, and it eventually led to a pump. And we can see that it ended up holding its support. And so not only does the on-balance volume show us where potential support could be, but it also shows us where potential resistance can be. It's not something you want to trade by itself, but it's a great thing to add to your repertoire, your tool set, your tool belt to get some more confidence with your bias. So, if you were thinking it should go up and then you see the on-balance volume climbing, you could be a little bit more confident that it should go up. And if you're thinking it should go down and you finally see the OBV broke trend, then you can have a little bit more confidence that the price could go down. And then once you see the OBV break its downtrend, which is somewhere around here, or depending on how you draw the line, it broke its downtrend at a different point. But roughly right here, the OBV downtrend is broken, and that correlates with the price. So they're kind of accumulating here, and then finally, so a little bit of limit buying happened, and it rallied. And then if you look at the sideways motion, it doesn't look like it has aggressive limit buying now. And I think it's because people discovered that this is resistance. It dumped from resistance, rejected it, rejected it, rejected it, rejected it. So why would anyone want to average in right here next to resistance? That's why the OBV isn't climbing anymore, because the smart money thinks it's too close to resistance for them to want to buy. Like I said, it works very well on coins that only have one exchange. I think Binance actually allows BNB to be traded on a few others now, but it's still dominated by Binance. So the on-balance volume for Binance works really well. Here we have a hedge sideways, and then right here it started to pump. You can draw a trend line. looks like it broke it about right here. And so if that's where smart money no longer wanted to pump it, which would be right here, that would be resistance. Hypothetically, you don't want to trade based off of it alone, but it's a good way to get conflicts. And then here you can see smart money tried to get back in here, and then it broke down again right there. So you can go ahead and mark this where smart money wanted out. So this whole area, smart money wanted out. If it pierces through this, the price goes up, then what will happen is the OBV will start to climb again as smart money scales back in. If it doesn't, then you can expect a reversion of one of the two. So if the on-balance volume isn't going up and it starts to go down and the price continues to go up, that tells you that smart money is exiting while the price is going up. And so either smart money is going to have to come back in or the price is going to correct. And if you see a trend of on-balance volume, let's just say this is the support trend of the OBV. If it breaks that, you know that the price could also break that. So if this is the OBV trend correlating with it, if the OBV starts to do this and break down, and meanwhile this goes sideways, either the price is going to break this trend or the OBV is going to have to come back up, or it could be a little bit of both. And so depending on the setup, you could have a long, you could have a short. Since this is a bull market, I don't recommend shorting, but the OBV is really handy to see where the smart money is getting in and out at. You can see that they hedged it sideways pretty casually and patiently for several days. And then right around the end of January, they started hedging it upwards more aggressively. So we can assume that smart money confidently bought this. Yes, sir.
Is there a time frame that it works best on?
Nope. It matches the time frame that you're on perfectly. I guess supposedly you could find a time frame that it's more reliable for you on, but I like to consult the OBV on all time frames, specifically the 1 minute. So this is the 1 minute. We have somebody's massive limit buy got filled here. You see this big old bull flag on the OBV. So somebody had a limit buy that was massive. It was approximately a 1/10 of a million BNB limit buy that someone sold into right there. And then as soon as they got filled, they started pumping the price up. And so you can see here that this would have been a good buy op. The OBV was in the bull flag and the price hasn't moved. And so you could have bought that and then experienced those gains. And this is an Elliott wave, by the way. That breakout, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bull trap crash, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bull trap crash, new one. So in this instance, that would have been a tall tale sign to buy BNB. So if you had other reasons to buy BNB, for example, maybe I signaled to buy it, you can hop on the OBV and see if it backs up my signal. Or maybe you just want to FOMO in and you're just looking for any reason, and that would have been your reason. You want to look at XRP. This was highs for the on-balance volume for quite a while. It kind of was hedging down a little bit. And then finally, some massive limit buy was filled here. Somebody got scared and sold into them, and it fucking rallied really hard. And now we have the OBV playing off of old highs, just like the prices. And so long as this OBV continues to climb, the price probably will too. And sometimes you can see the OBV V-bottom and the price doesn't. So for example, the price really bled here, but the OBV barely moved. It's still V-bottom too, but it doesn't have to. One of the two doesn't have to. So it's really handy. You can see where smart money is dumping or buying. And depending on your bias, it could either support or take away from your bias. But yeah, that's the OBV. Pretty simple stuff. And you can even see an Elliott wave in the OBV here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correction, and then a hedge sideways. So if you're wondering when this XRP pump is going to finish, you can't see the Elliott wave in the price, but you sure can see it in the on-balance volume. And so the on-balance volume broke its dip trend right here. Oops. You can tell that right here, right after that candle. So on this candle, the trend was entirely different. I mean, you could see that on the price in this instance, but it was supposed to go up to new highs and it didn't, broke down. And then you can see it, the OBV resisted at the old low that went to new highs. So that's bearish divergence. And then you can see that the on-balance volume held sideways, and then XRP continued to dip. So if the OBV is holding and the price is diverging, that just becomes a better entry for you if you have a long bias. The opposite, you know, if you have a short bias and the OBV is going down, that could support your short bias as well. It just depends on how you're thinking about it. So if you're shorting, you want the price to go down. So hopefully the on-balance volume is going down ahead of the price. And so you can get some confirmation to go ahead and short it earlier. Or if you're looking to buy it and you see the on-balance volume is holding, but the price is falling, then you can get some confirmation that smart money is staying and dipshits are selling. And so that's what this case was, that it held at the support level, but the price broke down. And so you could have bought that if you had a long bias. And then on a higher time frame, that'll make more or less sense. Looks like we came and diverged right on top of the pre-pump OBV. So that's a bullish thing. And we've been going up ever since. And again, it works on all time frames. It'll just look a little different. So here we have a hedge up before the pump. And we dipped right to the old hedge trend line. And now we're going up again. So even though the price isn't at the trend, the OBV was. The smart money was already done dumping and they started to buy back in. So you got a little bit of early confirmation there. Had a double bottom, higher low, higher high, higher low, hedge forward. But yeah, so what I really like is the higher time frames. You can spot bigger moves. See, this on-balance volume's at new highs still on the daily, but here's the price down here. So according to the on-balance volume, either smart money is going to have to dump, or most likely smart money is staying in it and it's going to go to new highs soon, because this is at new highs. It's above it. So if that's the high, then the price can come up here on Ripple above 75 cents. Any questions?
That's really,
yeah, it's really awesome. I can't tell you how many times the higher time frame on-balance volume has gave me an indication that something's going to continue up, and it did. And you can always spot divergences. So there's a hedge sideways. Look how much this price moved back and forth, and the OBV was just chilling. So the smart people were staying patient. And then it's pumped, dipped, smart people staying patient. And now it broke beneath it, rejected it, came back up, and then popped through it again. And now they're way back in it again. So on this pump, a bunch of smart money got filled. More smart money got filled here than the smart money that dumped here, and in a more aggressive fashion too.
So if OBV follows price rising on a rally, you can assume that smart money is joining the rally, basically.
Yep. Or they could be forced. In this case, they could be forced to limit out of their position. So if they were shorting and they wanted to get out, they could have limit buyed their way out of the short. So they might not be actually entering, but they're putting patient orders down. So again, you don't want to trade solely off of it, but it does give you a heads up and a hint of where the patient money is in or out of the asset.
Thank you. That's really helpful.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, it works the best on coins that only have one exchange. And Binance has a bunch of coins that either only have one exchange, Binance, or they have other exchanges, but barely any volume on them. So they may as well not even count. And so you can tell if something is on multiple exchanges. You go to TradingView, type in the pair, you see Ripple has a shit ton of exchanges. But you go to like REN, it only has 5. It's RDN, only has one. So that's a USD pair that's calculated by TradingView. It's not actually a pair, but if you go to Bitcoin, there's only 2 exchanges for RD and BTC. And RD and BTC is at new highs on the daily. So it's very possible that it eventually go above this level. You can confirm with other time frames and see if it's also at new highs. This is the 6 hour. It's at even more new highs. So that's, you have confluence of OBV indications. Here's the 1 hour, still at new highs. 15-minute, still at new highs. So smart money is very much into this. And you can see when they're buying dips and when they're not. They bought the hell out of this dip. OBV went to new highs on that crash. So they had smart money was just chilling, waiting, and somebody sold into them, and they're happy about it. And then again, smart money sold into them here, and they're happy about it. They're not leaving. But yeah, that's the OBV. I use it every day. Any more questions before I end this video?
Oh, mercy. Yeah, I have one, or maybe it's a couple. Either way, would you put out a video or go over the indicators that you use mostly, in the future?
Yeah, one by one. This is one of them right here.
Okay. Yeah, I could tell this one. I believe when you talked about yesterday or maybe the day before that.